Welcome everyone to CivilNet. Today we're joined by Valéry Safarian, head of the Belgian Armenian Chamber of Commerce. Valéry, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. So just last month, Belgium's first resident ambassador to Armenia took up his post, and this week there's a trade mission from Brussels here in Yerevan. I understand you're part of that mission. What else can you tell us about that? Who's taking part? Who are they meeting here, and what do you expect to come from it?
Well, first of all, it's an opportunity to thank Belgium to finally appoint an ambassador as a permanent resident here in Armenia, which is a very important step, definitively for trade relations as well. This mission, as you mentioned, is, as you know, Belgium is regionalized. We have three main regions. We have Wallonia, Flanders, and Brussels. This mission is being led by the Walloon region, the export agency of Wallonia, coming with a few companies in order to discover the Armenian market. And when I say discover, it means that they will basically make B2B meetings, business to business, try to understand if there are opportunities of trading with Armenian companies, not only for Armenia, but for the whole region. That's the first point. In addition to that, it's an important step because it's been, due to COVID and due to different circumstances, it's been a while that Belgium has not organized a business mission, a business delegation to visit Armenia. So we're quite happy to join them. In the portfolio of companies visiting Armenia, you have companies active in the real estate. Some have the idea to create, somehow some facilities for Armenian from the diaspora to come and for their old days as a, retired person and because they've done that model in other countries as well. And then you have different companies active in different fields trying to develop their trade relations.
And since 2020, bilateral trade between Armenia and Belgium has nearly tripled. It's expected to hit $300 million this year. In broad terms, what can you tell us about this economic relationship and where do you see it going?
So, indeed, it has grown a lot. I believe that Armenia has also created a framework which is maybe more easy for Belgian companies to understand the Armenian market and the opportunity and the gate to other markets. So that's also thanks to the efforts of, what the Ministry of Economy and different states, government agencies have been done promoting Armenia. In addition to that, I would say that historically speaking, you have had, Belgium has been in the past the first trade partner of the European Union of Armenia due to the diamond sector. And if I have to be very honest, the diamond sector did not need basically the Belgian Armenian Chamber of Commerce to already trade with Armenia. So it's very historically that those people from the city of Antwerp, which is well known in the diamond world, came to visit Armenia and develop their relation. However, it has a bit decrease over the past years with more focus on Moscow and Russia, but that might change now with the sanctions on Russia, and I believe that those Belgian companies might think much more about Armenia today. To go to the questions related to what are the perspectives, I believe that Armenia now is making a very huge turn towards the EU, and that's also a very important message towards the European business communities. And why am I emphasizing that? It's because in 2013, Armenia decided to withdraw from the Deep and Free Trade Comprehensive Agreement, which has been somehow considered as a message to the business community as, okay, we are not necessarily focusing on Armenia-EU business relation, looking more to another part of the world. Now we understand that the focus is very different, and it's also our duty as Chamber of Commerce to communicate about that in Belgium, in Luxembourg, and towards the different network we have in Europe.
Well, you bring up a few points that I want to touch on. We can start first with the diamond trade. Yes. So diamond processing historically has played an important role in Armenia's foreign trade portfolio. Just last year, Armenia's diamond exports topped $400 million. And obviously, Belgium plays a key role here too, as upwards of 90% of the world's diamonds pass through Antwerp, as you said. I'm wondering, what role does the diamond trade play in Belgium's economic relations with Armenia, particularly given fresh reports the European Union is close to agreeing on a ban on Russian diamonds?
Precisely. So I believe the diamond industry has changed in terms of, they're very looking to be compliant. We know that that sector suffered from a very bad reputation 15 to 20 years ago. So I strongly believe that if Armenia, which Armenia is doing right now, try to position herself as being a new hub, basically for diamond processing in the world region, Armenia will benefit from Belgian investment and Belgian trading relation into the diamond sector. Because the companies we are talking about are serious companies. Some are even listed companies, and they would not support to have sanctions or a very bad reputation towards working with a country that goes against the interest of the EU. First point. So I do believe indeed that Armenia now enjoy a very good image. You might have questions related to sanctions about Armenia. I believe that banks have been communicating a lot in Armenia about how they try to fit with the sanctions imposed by the European Union and the US in some ways. And I feel confidence. We have been ourselves trying to help Belgian companies to open bank accounts here. We can see how much questions or much KYC they have to fill in, how much check they are making. So I have no doubt that Armenia banking sector is very professional. They know the risk and the consequence of not fulfilling with those sanctions, and that the diamond sectors feel at ease working with the Armenian banks, which is of course a financial tool that is needed to basically to let that relation become stronger and stronger.
Well, right to that point, I also wanted to talk about the crucial issue of sanctions compliance. Of course, Armenia is a member of the Russian-led Eurasian Economic Union, but is also deepening ties with the European Union right now. In your conversations with business leaders in Brussels, do you see any hesitation about doing business here? Or what's the mood in Europe with regard to trade in Armenia from what you've seen?
It's a very good question. I would say that the mood 5 years ago was not necessarily so positive, let's say it this way. However, and for various reasons, because basically the Eurasian Union as a market might have been interesting, before the war of Ukraine. However, there were many gates to that market, not only Armenia. You could go to Astana or to Belarus or whatever. So Armenia has always, tried to make sure that the business community understand that Yerevan could be a gate to that market. However, there were some competition inside that market, however, to promote basically the best gate to that big market, first of all. Secondly, due to the war of Ukraine, I do believe that the consequences of doing business as a Belgian company with Russia are too high, exposing themselves too much. Even if they trade with products that are not necessarily under sanctions, Belgian banks or European banks are very reluctant, very focusing, and I understand that, because of course I'm a Belgian citizen, and I'm here also to represent the Belgian interest in Armenia, and there is obviously a big conflict between the two countries, the two regions, Russia and the EU. So now that we see Armenia on the map with a different agenda, which is basically having a more balanced policy, that's changed the whole mindsets and the whole marketing of Armenia in the business community. So I think that more and more we see initiatives coming from different European governments, not only Belgium. You mentioned in the introduction that we just have a new appointed ambassador. That's a very strong signal. I think the Netherlands did it 2 years ago also. It was out of questions 5 years ago. Let's face the reality. I mean, Armenia was not on the map. I mean, it was on the map by circumstances because you have a diaspora, because you have people in our organization or other organization trying to promote Armenia. But Armenia was always being so-called considered as a subsidiary of Russia, which is not good and which is changing. And for me, as I said, of course, Armenia has a balanced policy, but Armenia is now being seen as a trustable partner for the EU, and let's say the situation of the withdrawal of the DFCTA has been forgotten. And we are now all together around the table to write a new page of the history between the EU and Armenia.
Well, that's fantastic. And just to wrap up, I'm wondering what can we expect next from you and your team at the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's a good point. Me and my team, we're trying to hire new and fresh people. It's been 18 years that I've been trying to promote Armenia in Belgium and promoting Belgian interest in Armenia. Now we are hiring new volunteers because all of us are basically, it's a non-profit organization and we are all volunteers. We are all either in the business or, in the education. I mean, all of our members are basically just trying to promote the best way they can Armenia in Belgium. So what can you expect from us? It's to reschedule basically Armenia on the agenda of the Export and Investment Agency of Belgium and Luxembourg. I mentioned that we came today with a delegation of Walloon businessmen. However, Walloon represents a part of the total GDP of Belgium, which might be between 30 to 35%. A very important region is also Flanders. Where, by the way, Antwerp, the city of Antwerp is located and where you have the diamond sector, but you have also various business fields that have been developed, and you have also the port of Antwerp, which is a very important logistical place for the global world trade relation. So we will also focus on Flanders next year to make sure that has kind of ambassadors of Armenia speaking Dutch, speaking French, and speaking English. We will try to explain what they can expect from the Armenian markets, what they can expect from the youth of Armenia, some speaking French from the French university, other being well connected to other regions of the world, whether it's the Middle East or it's Georgia. It can be other part of the world. So I think we know the marketing speech or the pitch basically that we need to use to let them understand that Armenia has to be considered as a very good trade partner and opportunity.
Well, Valéry, best of luck and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.